Goeiedag! Good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world! And tonight at 7 p.m. Johannesburg time, apparently Ramaphosa is going to be addressing the nation. But he doesn't have many options left, does he? Because he's totally screwed the country. It's got no money. And with all the corruption that's taken place and no one being charged, it's a gangster state. But don't forget, an hour later at 8 p.m, I'm going to be talking to Muzi Nkosi about his perspective on what's going on in South Africa and a number of related issues. Let me tell you what the suggestions are for Ramaphosa's speech tonight at 7 p.m. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, the statement will for the first time be delivered on a virtual platform, which will be made widely available, and I will put a link to that directly below this video. Head of the organizing committee, Nomvula Mokonyane, has outlined planned virtual events that will precede the delivery of the statement. These will include interviews with ANC stalwarts who will reflect on the importance of the January the 8th statement. Remember, that's the ANC's birthday. Very sad day in South African history. Messages of support from the party's alliance partners, a Peter Makabe memorial lecture by the Youth League, as well as a Charlotte Makeke intergenerational program. Mokonyane said, for the first time in our history, January the 8th will be held under extraordinary circumstances imposed on us by COVID-19 pandemic. There will be significant departure from past practices. He went on to say, this year's January the 8th celebrations will be a virtual affair, including the build-up activities. As you are aware, there will be no mass rally as on previous occasions. This is part of our commitment towards preserving lives in the midst of a deadly virus. As a leader of society, we have a duty to lead by example. Former Presidents Jacob Zuma and Thabo Mbeki made inputs to the statement which the party spokesperson Pula Mabe refused to divulge. The input made by Mbeki is said to be around the length of the January the 8th statement, as well as repetition regarding the issue of renewal. Echoing Mabe's words, Mokonyane said Comrade Thabo Mbeki spoke like everyone else in the meeting and made valuable remarks that were taken into consideration. The statement would not be a compilation of who said what, but would be a statement representing the entire National Executive Committee. What a bunch of idiots they are. Anyway, that's my point of view. They went on to say, we were honored to have been joined by two of our former presidents, Comrade Thabo Mbeki and Comrade Jacob Zuma. Now, I thought Jacob Zuma was so sick he couldn't appear in court. But of course, when it comes out there where he can blow his trumpet, all that disease just seems to fade away, doesn't it? These guys are good. Anyway, Comrade Jacob Zuma, who continued to be the fountain of wisdom for our movement. And considering Zuma is famous for the corruption, yeah, that's where the wisdom is. They know how to be corrupt. They've learned from the best. Mokonyane said, the meeting benefited a great deal from their invaluable inputs which helped to shape the content and direction of the statement. The impact of COVID-19 on the economy and life in general, as well as the acquisition of vaccines, is expected to form a big part of the January the 8th statement. To signify its 109th birthday celebration, the ANC has chosen the logo of a baobab tree, a species estimated to be more than 3,000 years old. Mokonyane said the baobab is renowned for its magical powers and symbolic value to many indigenous African people, as well as its functional usefulness. He concluded by saying, the age and utility of this tree suggests endurance, wisdom, endowment, and bounty. Well, clearly that hasn't been passed on to the ANC cadres, has it? Because wisdom is probably the biggest thing lacking in this ANC government. Anyway, let's continue. In the 109th anniversary celebrations of the ANC, the tree symbolizes the sustained presence of the ANC in our lives and its ability to weather all manners of storms in pursuit of the liberation of all South Africans. Now, in that particular commentary, there's a reference to the vaccine in South Africa. Well, let me tell you why. South Africa has secured 1 million doses of coronavirus vaccine due to arrive in January, and another 500,000 due in February, the government announced on Thursday, paving the way for the first inoculations outside the medical trials. Also on Thursday, Health Minister Zweli Mkhize gave Parliament a first detailed report on the current plans to vaccinate the broader public. You may get your vaccine injection from a final year nursing student. The envisaged rate of inoculation comes to around 316,000 vaccinations per day, the government says, with most vaccines requiring 2 doses. To get those into arms, it anticipates having 6,300 people full-time delivering shots to 50 people per day. Additional vaccinations may be drawn from doctors and nurses who have completed their community service, as well as final year medical and nursing students. In urban areas, you may go to a mass vaccination centre, and in other parts, churches and schools may pop up as clinics. The government anticipates setting up mass vaccination centres in urban areas for high throughput delivery of vaccines and to keep the pressure off hospitals and clinics dealing with sick people. Other places that you may have your jab includes community halls, churches and schools. Now, this is the kicker. You'll be asked to, and perhaps required to consent to the use of location data. Get that? You get the vaccine, and you can be tracked and traced. The consent form envisaged before you receive your vaccination will include permission both to use personal data and to use location data, the government says. Just what data and what exactly it will be used for has not yet been determined, but plans also include sending reminders to receive a second dose and finding those who miss follow-up appointments. The government hopes to record the reasons for those who refuse a vaccine and find those who miss second doses. Plans for a dashboard system to track the progress of vaccine rollout include capturing the reasons given for vaccine refusal and a track and trace system for no adherent patients, those who do not show up to receive their second shot. 2-shot vaccines will be by far the most common ones administered in South Africa, as plans stand. You'll have an app that can prove you've been vaccinated. The government is working on an electronic vaccination data system, or EVDS, with the promise that recipients will have an app that they can use for proof of vaccination. Paper-based certification may only be available where appropriate and required. A special compensation scheme may be set up. The government anticipates additional costs of vaccination to include a no-fault immunization compensation scheme without providing details. What they're talking about there is if something goes horribly wrong once you get your vaccine, you can't touch the big pharma companies that put this thing into you. This is a complete breach of human rights that you're seeing right here. Such a scheme is increasingly common around the world, and Canada recently announced it would create its first for the coronavirus vaccine rollout. No-fault schemes seek to compensate people who have severe adverse reactions to vaccine without the complications of legal action and while maintaining public confidence in getting vaccines. Common side effects of the AstraZeneca vaccine most South Africans are likely to receive include tenderness or itching at the site of the injection and a general feeling of fatigue. Some dizziness and abdominal pains have been reported by recipients. but those symptoms were very rare. Suspected serious adverse effects due to the vaccine were found to be unrelated, and vaccine recipients are more likely to die from road crashes and homicide, a study showed. Well, you know what my views on that particular claim, but I can't put them up here on YouTube, can I? Yeah, eyes everywhere. Crazy. Roll on, lovinglifetv.com. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe. Bye for now.